Every man is born as a slave, which means he is dependent on another person in some way or another. Okay, so it starts with his father or whatever, and then it's something else, some institution. And most men never go past that stage. 70% of all men remain slaves their entire life. They're dependent on other people. The warrior, that's what usually shows in puberty. By the way, as you reach higher in those levels, you get more and more in touch with your masculine essence, which is your personal connection to spirit and spirituality, your purpose, right? So usually if somebody is above average, he will in puberty in some way or another, he's going to become a rebel. All right. Those are the warriors. Those are the guys that are like, I don't know, the skater boys that are like that. They don't listen to the teacher. They're like bad boys and all that stuff, right? And ironically, those are the guys that are most attractive to the girls, right? So, and then we have the knights. The knight is a little bit more matured. That's whatever. That's an adult man who has become very, very good at his purpose. So he is very good at, has influence, power. Usually that's connected to money, but he has no ethics. He has no ethics. His ethics don't exceed his power, which means he's going to destroy himself with his money or with his power, influence, and all that stuff, right? So that's a knight. And through a dark night of the soul, the knight can become a king. At that point, his ego dies, and he understands that he needs to live for something greater than himself. Then a knight can become a king, and he starts to live for his kingdom, his purpose, his mission. He starts to live for pleasure and selfish gain. All right. So those are the levels. So the hierarchy or the level of where you are in the hierarchy is determined by power and influence. Okay. So for a man, having sex must be earned. That's nothing that we get for free. Okay. For women, it's very different. Women, I mean, you got to be really like nasty in order to struggle to have sex as a woman. I mean, come on. It's like different. So, okay. As women, there's, for instance, there's oracles. There are queens. There are princesses. And there are whores. All right. So the level of the woman is determined by her ethics for the most part. Ethics. Why? A woman that uses her sexuality can easily get ahead in the world. However, she becomes a whore at that point. Okay. A woman that will, first of all women are born as princesses. They have the potential to either become a queen or a whore. When she has good ethics, she will become a queen. When she has bad ethics, she will become a whore. Qualities of a whore are the following things. She uses her sexuality to destroy men. One of the worst things that you could, one of the worst things that you can run into is a relationship with a whore. She has no ethics. She's very selfish. She has no purity anymore. She's what's the word? Defiled in some way or another, right? A princess that stays pure in some way or another, and that's not just sexual. It has to be a pure heart for the most part. Remember, we're talking about spiritual stuff here. A slave becomes a king by getting more and more in touch with the spiritual essence. So he transcends his ego at the knight's level and becomes a king and operates from a higher perspective. Here, the princess, let's say the princess becomes too infatuated with the world, and she uses her body, and she believes that all she is her body. She doesn't listen to her intuition anymore. Boom, she will turn into a whore. And how does she become a queen? She becomes a queen by staying in touch with her feminine essence, which the nature of the wisdom of nature speaks through her. She doesn't have to explain anything. She doesn't have to study all of this stuff. She understands just through her heart and her connection to the universe and nature, right? Boom. And then the queen for a long time was with the king. She was with that guy, and then the king died, and then she becomes the oracle. She's seen everything and all that stuff, and then she becomes the like the archetype of the old wise woman that the king goes to in order to learn about his destiny. All right. So you talked about how throughout your spiritual journey, the people that you get attracted to change. right? It works like this. A slave wants a whore. We're talking about spiritual essence here. A whore wants a warrior. A warrior wants a princess. A princess wants a knight wants a queen wants a king, and a king wants an oracle. That's the spiritual essences that we fall in love with, depending on where we are and who we are. Yeah. We live in a slave and whore society. 70% of the population are slaves and whores. Okay. And we got very few people that are here. And then we got even fewer people. Like 3% make it to king and 3% make it to oracle, if that. So yeah, most people are somewhere, like I said, 70% of all men never even start that journey. Those are like the normies, you know, Joe Schmo, the guy that you will meet commuting to work in fucking traffic, you know, like the normal guy, right? And this is literally almost every woman that you will run into, you know. So
well, I mean, it's encouraged. You just look at like the Kardashians as being like the goal for most women, you know. It's just how much they can inject into their lips and their ass, and how they can use their sexuality just to get what it is they want, you know. That's normal. Or you have like the, you know, the trophy wives. I mean, people look down at prostitutes, but is it any different? You know, it's just,
you know what's interesting? Most of those kings that I know, most of those really, really successful men that are also ethical and like super respected and powerful, most of those guys, they're not with these Barbies, you know. Those are like the Barbies, the Kim Kardashians. That's what escorts look like, professional whores. The women that they're actually with and have relationships with, they're like, of course they're beautiful, but they're like normal looking. They're like you know, the housewife next door, you know, good mothers, you know, the women like that. That's what they actually seek. And
yeah.
yeah. And I don't know if anyone here who's ever been with a 10, bro, you know, like, and 10 is basically like this, like these girls with like, you know, these girls, right? They take like 3 hours to get ready in the morning and shit like that. Like these women just bring problems, bro. They're so self-centered. They're completely narcissistic because the whole world just fucking revolves around them. They bring more problems to your life than they add value. Okay. And if you're honest with yourself, the only reason why you got them with you is not because you like them, but because you think that other guys will think you're the man. If she's on the on the seat next to you, wow, look at that blonde, whatever. Oh wow, look at her tits, Bob, whatever. You don't even like her. All you want is that other guys think you're the man. It's not worth it, bro. Women like that only bring problems into your life. They bring conflict with other guys because she can't live without the attention of other men. So she's gonna attract attention from other guys, and they're gonna try to fuck with you, try to mess with you because they want her. Number one. Other women hate her. So there are all kinds of catfights that you're gonna have to take care of. And she's an emotional mess. I guarantee that. A woman like that has no soul. All she got is her body, and she knows that that's fading away. So she's an emotional wreck. All right. The closer she gets to 30, the more crazy she's gonna get. Just saying it. I mean, do whatever the fuck you want. I'm just speaking from experience. These women are not worth it, and they're not even good in bed.
You know, as you're saying that, like, it actually makes me really sad. It's definitely my Pisces nature, but it's just like, oh, it's just like you just want to cry, because it's like you can talk about it and like make fun of it, and it's like, it's cringy, but it's really fucking sad that women believe that's what they need to become in this life. I just can't imagine using my life to be that. Like, that is your life goal, like the lack, the void of aspirations or vision or purpose is just, you know, just bottom of the barrel, just your doormat at that point. Like, it's so fucking sad.
Yeah, it's like I made a post a while ago. I'm gonna read that, okay? It's on Facebook. I think that encapsulates what I think about that topic. Let me just read it to you.
Yeah.
Scrolling. There you go. All right. ask the attractive women in your life what will remain of them once they have lost their youth and their beauty, right?
Yeah.
Hashtag Oracle. That is the true essence of the woman you are with. A true queen has a natural intuition and can read the energies around her easily. She will say things that reflect the wisdom of nature, and that's innocently spoken, without the need for linear logic. She's like a crystal that magnifies your power. A whore is dull and empty. She has lost her innocence and can no longer be a vessel for the divine. A defiled being, sad and lost. When you choose one, choose a queen. So what I'm saying is, what you were describing, essentially, yeah, they're defiled, they're empty, they're empty, and they can't be a vessel for the divine anymore. They have lost their connection to the universe, essentially. And that's why usually there's a strong connection between the more is on the outside, the less is on the inside. You get what I mean? So, you know,
The hot and crazy scale. That's
yeah,
been
yeah, yeah, yeah.
notoriously referred to. But it is really sad that some, you know, men find it to be quite accurate. So like, okay, say that's how a woman has lived for a long time. How does she begin to like rebuild herself? Because I don't believe that there's a point of no return. I think there's always, you know, if there's ever a pure intent
Yeah.
to want better for yourself, I think it can always be turned around.
Well, okay. I mean, that's I'm assuming that's the case. However, I don't know how to do that. I'm not a woman, you know. I don't really know
Yeah.
how that works. So I can tell
Yeah.
you as a guy, you have to learn to be strong. You have to go through, you have to deal with your own issues. That's basically what it is. I mean, you conquer your own self by dealing with your insecurities, your fears, and that's how you grow. You got to deal with your own issues, man. And that's it. That's what you do as a guy. That's how you become a man.
Yeah. And I
And
guess for a woman, it starts with like self-love. Instead of finding that love outside of yourself and the validation in all these ways, how do you actually start loving yourself? Because
yeah,
if you
and
had that discussion with the 5-year-old version of you, what would they think of what you're doing?
yeah.
You know, it can be
Yeah, and
quite
it's funny, like
nasty.
how men seek respect and women seek love, right? That's also an interesting distinction, because
Mhm.
I think for a man, respect is more important than love, to be honest. And yeah, self-love, interesting topic. Yeah, I mean, I think for you as a guy, I'm speaking to the men that are listening to this. For you as a guy, love should not come from within. Love should come from your accomplishments in the world in some way or another. Absolutely. Because
Mm.
if that's like I said, that's for women, self-love. That is for them. Your life looks very different. You know, even though people want to pretend that it's the same, it's not the same thing. As a guy, your life works very differently. And becoming a man is a very different path than becoming a good woman.
Yeah, and I appreciate the distinction too, because I mean, society is just trying to lump everybody into just one